It's going to be close.
As long as I get that car.
Righto, folks, here we go. Thanks, mate. Our first place and the winner of the team's event today, the Happy Chilmores, Dean Thompson, Theo Poulos and Justin Morgan.
Better show those prizes, buddy.
Oh, congratulations. That's me, a grand lighter.
Best man on the day won. That's what's important.
Now the big one, folks. The lowest individual score on the day, and therefore the winner of a brand new car from the Yabby Creek dealership, Dean Thompson.
Yes! Gracious winner.
Zig, I won the car!
Oh, real can't stand it.
Oh, it's Justin's fault, not ours.
In saying that, I've got some disappointing news. The Happy Chilmores have been disqualified for bad sportsmanship, and in Summer Bay, we don't tolerate cheating.
Zig, I've got to call you right back.
The new winners of the team event, Palmer's Putters.
Hey! Yes, I knew it.
Wait, what?
I'll explain later. Go.
Wait, what just happened? Next.
Look, you don't need to say anything. The security footage of you tampering with John's buggy tells us everything.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, no car?
No car.
We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast, your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
What's your handicap, Sophie?
That's a very personal question.
Your golf handicap, of course.
Oh, God knows. I don't think I've even done mini golf. What about you? Have you ever golfed?
Disqualified level. I actually have tried my hand at golf, but got turfed out because I didn't pay my fees.
What? Oh, dear.
True story. Yeah.
Scandal.
Now that would be a proper golf scandal. We'll get onto that later. Mountain out of a molehill. How are you? Have you had a good week?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Yes, not too bad. Well, I'm having a bit of a busy one. We've just been catching up, haven't we? But I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah.
Talking about Homers. Overview thoughts of this week. I thought we had a pretty good home and away week this week.
Yeah, do you know what? I wasn't mad looking forward to the golf stuff, but actually I've quite liked the way that it's panned out. So it has been entertaining. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I text you, didn't I, saying, wait till you see it, because
yeah.
I think I was a day ahead of you, and I was like, wait till you see it, because actually I've really enjoyed it. And I think I was trying to think after I watched it, when was the last time we had like a community type get together?
It would have been the gas attack, would it, at Salt last year?
Which is like over 12 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just feels like such a long time.
Mm.
And we've had some of those scenes where there's loads of characters involved. So I enjoyed it. I did enjoy
it's good.
it. And you mentioned last week, it might have been First Look, about us sort of getting a new location. Is always good fun. Good fun.
Yeah.
Right, do you want your headlines?
I do.
Ziggy breaks free from house arrest. Tane and Felicity's beach wedding gets a new venue. The golf tournament scandal is the biggest coastal news story since John became an arsonist. And Bree panics after hearing Jacob might be on his way back to the bay.
Please take the time to like, subscribe, and review Coastal News wherever you source your podcasts, and ensure you never miss an episode.
So we pick up, as always, Monday's episode, and Ziggy is at home. She's going out of her mind, isn't she? She's completed Netflix, like done. She's got her grades, and she can't do anymore. She thinks she uses the words, "I'm tired of sitting down." Well, you've not moved much if you're tired of sitting down.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get, to, can I come to work with you, Dean? Mimi, Dean, let me do this, let me do that. And you're just thinking, wind your neck in. Well, I was thinking that. And she offers to drive Dean to the surf club, and he won't have it. You need to stay here. And was that sort of gets an earful off Dean because she ends up taking the bus to the surf club or something. Told you there was a bus.
She stole Mac's car, didn't she, the first time while Mac was in the shower?
And
then the second time she got the bus, didn't she? So
yeah. And you're just thinking, I know it's boring, isn't it, when you've got to sit up and rest.
I don't think I get bored that easily. I think if you can sit me in front of a TV, the Channel 5 afternoon film, I can watch that, every day. I'm quite happy.
That's a problem. She's not got Channel 5.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I a couple of days at home just watching TV sounds great to me. I don't think I'd be moaning about that. But
no,
she was making paper aeroplanes, which is something that Rose was doing when she was at work at the police station. Remember when she first started and she said, "Oh, it's so boring here, like nothing happens." So is this what the writers think people do when they're bored? They sit around making paper aeroplanes? Because I don't think I've ever made one. But there we go.
You're so right.
The telly on.
I've not even made that connection. That's true. They both did that, didn't they? Saying how boring it was.
I was like, oh my God, is this all they do? Is this an Australian thing? Because I just watch crap films and enjoy myself.
Well, I did wonder if she was sort of getting to Dean that the farm they wanted to move, like the farm was too isolated or something. Do you know what I mean? I thought,
maybe it's all about this car though, because the amount of times they've mentioned, "Oh, we need a second car," and I was thinking, well, you probably don't need a second car. What you probably need is to live nearer to places like work and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not out in a farm somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh God, are we going to have a bit? Because we've been talking about a potential, set shuffle round.
Yes.
Needed, and my mind went into overdrive. Thinking, oh, I wonder if they'll move into something else, and then somebody else will move here because the Estones own it, don't they?
Yes.
As in Ben and Maggie.
Yeah, they still own it, but they live in Italy, don't they?
Yeah.
And Mac's obviously looking for a place to live, and the only place that she's been offered so far is John's place. She didn't look very keen, did she? Thanks, John.
I did like it though. It's like, I'm the only one willing to overlook your dodgy past on paying rent.
True. Not very reliable when it comes to money, is she? I just loved his reasoning. He was like, "You're clean and you're employed." Oh dear! Just put that in the ads, John. Clean and an employed roommate wanted.
What they've done with John over these last couple of years, moved him into this sort of hilarious sort of patriarch figure, I think is the most genius thing ever. He is probably one of my favourite characters now.
Yeah. As
a result, you can always count on John to just be a goof,
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So this whole "I'm too isolated, I need a car" thing, all sort of culminates later on in the week when we catch back up with them in, because Dean's been to Jai's parents' evening. There's this picture that Jai's wrote, and Jai's sort of left out of the fold. He's drawn Ziggy and Dean and Baby, and he's outside the house under a cloud, raining cloud.
Oh, bless him. I'm no child psychologist, but there wasn't a lot of interpretation needed for that photo or that picture, was there?
I'm surprised that there wasn't an appointment made with the head after they saw that picture.
Oh dear.
And there's this conversation then about, Ziggy wanted to change Jai's room. And first of all, I didn't even know Jai had a room, but Ziggy wanted to change Jai's room that he stays in when he's over here at the farm in the bay, into the nursery because it's not used that often. And now she feels like she can't say that because Jai's feeling left out, and Dean's gone into like mad mangrove dad mode, and is like, I'm now going to like call him every 5 seconds, and it's shower him with whatever, because he's feeling like he's dropped the ball a bit. I mean, I've described what's happened. Can I comment on what's happened? I'm not really sure. Ultimately, it's sped Mac up to moving out.
Yeah.
And there's not really a lot I want to say about it other than, okay, crack on,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we've been quite unenthused by this pregnancy from start to finish, haven't we?
It's
and
hard to
listeners will know.
Yeah, it's hard to get excited about it when I just still don't feel like they are. I don't know. I'm still getting the impression that they're just bumbling along. They're not really that excited. I don't know. It feels, the whole storyline feels flat to me.
Yeah, there's something missing, isn't there? And I can't
Yeah.
quite put my finger on what I need from it that I'm not
No.
getting. That's the thing. It's all right because this is, but I can't even tell you what I want to see or what I need. Do you know what I mean? I'm just struggling to articulate why I don't feel involved in it.
Yeah.
The way I would imagine. This is Dean and Ziggy we're talking about. This is like the biggest power couple of the show in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And you said something last week that because I'm sad, I've been mulling over since last week's episode. And you said something like, because we always, when we talk about this now, and we spoke at length, we're not going to go over it again, Diggy 2.0, me and you not enjoying it so much, and we don't think it's the same. If the split was going to happen, it should have stayed, or it should never have happened. One of the two. And we always tend to compare it to the other couple of a similar age on the show, Tane and Felicity. And you sort of try and compare the chemistry and I don't know. They've got something that this new Dean and Ziggy hasn't got. That the Dean and Ziggy used to have. I just can't get my head around it.
They used to have spark, and they used to have fun, and now it just feels like a struggle all the time, and it feels like they're always butting heads because they don't actually talk to each other. Like they talk to Mac, like Ziggy like Ziggy talks to Justin this week, but they'll talk to somebody else and say, "Oh, Dean's doing my head in because of this," and then that person goes off to Dean and goes, "Ziggy's head's been done in because you're doing this," and then there's like a fight or someone tries to make up, or they just don't talk to each other like a normal couple, and I find it frustrating because they're having a kid, and I'm like, you need to bloody grow up. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're just going through the motions, aren't they?
Yeah. I just don't feel like they're very happy. I don't think they've been happy since they got back together, and I think it got worse. When Dean had his injury and he couldn't surf and all that stuff, and they were fighting all the time, weren't they, because of that?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not bounced back that much since then, I don't think.
No, there's always been something, hasn't there? And bickering and
they just seem to they're like an old married couple that just argue, and that's how they communicate. Do you know? When people go, when you go around someone else's house and their mum and dad's like having an argument, and you're like, ooh, because you're in their house, and then your friend's like, oh no, that's just how they talk to each other. You're like, okay, that's weird. They're like that, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
That's how you get when you've been together for like 50 years. Not like, I don't know, they just seem too young to be in that,
stuck in that rut at that age. Yeah. I agree. I'm trying to think of what I would do to fix it, and I just don't know anymore. And I think because I didn't agree with the split, and it's all on this podcast. I don't think that should have ever happened, but the fact that it did, I then believed it happened and it should have stayed happened. I think I think that sort of the soaps do it. It's not just a Homer's thing. You
Yeah.
know, that will
Yeah.
they, won't they, on and off. And then we're all supposed to get behind them as a result because it's been such a treacherous path to happiness, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here. They've not taken me with them and you.
No.
Sounds like it. Ziggy. So Ziggy's, you know, she's getting the nursery, and Dean's a bit confused by it. Like, oh gosh, you know, she wants this stuff now. You know, like we're all confused by it, Dean, mate. You know, she wanted to surf a couple of months ago professionally.
Well, I'm glad that they're finally thinking about actually having a baby and what happens when the baby gets here, because up until now, it's just been like, oh, my life's over. And, oh, I won't be able to do this and that and the other. And now she's like, right, well, the baby's coming whether we like it or not. So we need to make some plans. We need to have a nursery.
Yeah.
So at least they're getting practical. But again, is she excited about it? No. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm just...
No, we're both the same. We're both the same. And listeners, get in touch with us if you've got similar things or you feel different, and tell us what we're missing with this, because we're missing something. I mean, Flick, on the other side, we're talking about Flick and Tane. Flick's gone the other way with this wedding. We said last week, it's like roles had reversed, because Tane was down about the whole, you know, family not being able to join. And Felicity's now proper going for it with this wedding planning now, isn't she? So that it can be done. And we join her. If you remember, she just walked in on Cash and his semi with Eden.
Oh, don't start.
She's you know, and Eden quickly excuses herself out of the house because they were just about to pash, weren't they? And you know, Cash says, oh, we'll just talk about wedding stuff, you know. I'm thinking, well, it's not a lie, you're trying to get the stolen wedding dresses back. And then the timelines confuse me a bit here, because then suddenly Flick's made it across the road to the band house. I don't know if you noticed. So she's over the road then, and you know, are you happy being just friends? You know, talking to Eden, like, you know, she's trying to match make them, isn't she? And she knows Eden's head over heels. And are you happy with that? And Eden's sort of saying, what I want doesn't matter right now. You know, it's killing me. You know, organising this wedding with him every day. I've just got to get through it. And then, because this is all after that moment, and then Flick's now back over at her own house, saying pretty much the same things to Cash. And then Cash calls her proper Alice Sex in the City, like very Carrie Bradshaw call here, wasn't it? In bed, like, oh, you hang up, no, you hang up. What do you make of this?
It's cute. I think it's quite cute the way that Eden and Cash are kind of skirting around each other. I just wish they'd bloody get on with it though now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you? I'm like, just kiss her or don't kiss her. Like, what do you want?
I think the problem with them is they're going backwards. They got on with it, and now they're trying to figure out what it means.
Yeah.
Like, rather than the other way around. I think I agree with you on his behalf. Sorry. So, you know, I think he needs to face up to his feelings. Yeah. It's him that's holding it up, and Felicity says that to him. You know, you're the one that did the dumping. You're the one that's going to have to make the move. You know, you're into you need to do it because you ended it. You need to start it, or something like that. You can't wait forever. So it's him, I think, that just needs a good kick up the arse.
Yeah, you're right. I think because it was him that put the brakes on it, so it's got to be him that take the brakes off, hasn't it? Because we know that Eden's interested, and he knows that, surely. So.
Yep, and she's not off on the world tour. She said she was going to be off. She's over the road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, what's the excuse here? Because that was the excuse. You know, you broke my heart before. You know, you were a womanizer. You know, that was all the excuse, wasn't it? You were in a band. You're always out of town. You know, play the field. Well, now she's across the road and she's there all the time.
Yeah, and
and
she's not interested in playing the field, is she? Because she likes him.
yeah,
So this is
yeah.
why everyone kept saying, "This is not like you, Eden." We had it literally slapped in our faces. This is not like Eden. Eden doesn't catch feels. Eden's the kind of girl that goes from guy to guy without getting serious. So we've had all that spelled out for us that she's really into him because this is not what she's like.
Mm.
Again, I'm still thinking, is she really into him or does she? I don't know. There's still a part of me.
Do you still doubt that?
There's still a part of me that thinks, is it
Ah.
because I don't know? He said no, and she's interested. She's more interested. I don't know.
Oh
I think
yeah, I know what you mean.
I need
Likes
to
the
see
chase.
it. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
we'll see. But I think they will
Well,
get together. Do you?
yeah,
Or
I
do you?
do. I think it's inevitable. I think we're about to find out on first look.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very soon. Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's developed more than just them trying to avoid each other now, because
yes,
now
yeah,
they're actually talking to each other,
yeah,
and getting or smelling each other. She said, she gets a message from this criminal mastermind wedding dress person,
oh yeah,
and Q Stan
yeah,
the wedding dress dealer. So they sort of trick Stan into coming to visit them with these wedding dresses, and Rose is volunteered as the bride to be, while Eden jumps and hides in the bedroom. And this was so funny, this scene. I was actually laughing at this. Cash and Rose sort of then make this arrest because they're like, yes, they confirm it's the stolen dresses, and they just
yeah,
like, stop in the name of the law.
yeah.
and
That's
then
it.
and then Eden just surfaces from the bedroom, and she's like, ah. You just like, oh gosh.
They're like, yeah, we're doing it. Eden, calm down.
And then there's
Yeah.
another opportunity for a very thankful embrace between Cash and Eden, isn't there?
Yeah, the dynamics of
Which
this are quite interesting, aren't they? Because we had Rose obviously caught feels for Cash, and then she's pretending to be his bride to be, and then we've got Eden, who's also currently got feels for Cash. It's quite an interesting dynamic we have
yeah,
here, isn't it?
just a tad, yeah.
Yeah, I
Bit
quite
of
enjoyed it though. I quite enjoyed this whole caper between the three of them, and quite interesting.
well, Flick has seen them sort of thanking each other from afar,
Yeah,
convinces him to make a go for it. What are you so afraid of, Cash? We're all wondering.
yeah.
Get on with it, lad. So I think it's safe to say, Coastal News prediction here, it's going to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
What is all the drama about? You're both single, crack on.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've had the explanation as to how bad this heartbreak was.
No, and I don't know whether it's a little bit to do with Jasmine as well, really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's obviously that hangover, isn't there, from that?
Yeah.
Hatane, throughout all this, has had time for a conversation with Felicity, when she's not matching everybody else, and has realised she's a country girl at heart. I'll just throw that one in, and now we're changing the wedding. What do you think of that? How did that come from?
I don't know. This is one. Does she even want? I don't know. Like, he's obviously ringing venues, isn't he, and saying, "Oh, have you got any availability for exactly 2 weeks?" It's 2 weeks now, by the way. I thought it was 3, but it's 2.
Oh my God! I better make sure I'm back off my holiday.
Exactly 2 weeks. So he's ringing around on the basis of this one throwaway comment where she says something like, "I never thought about getting married and having the dress," and he said, "Why?" "Because I'm a country girl." That made absolutely no sense to me. Anyway, the logic behind, I didn't think I'd ever get married because I'm from the country. I was like, what? So it made no sense.
We all just live with our sisters and our cousins.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't get it. I was like, I'm lost. But then from that one "I'm a country girl" comment to him running around looking for, I presume, a country venue to get married in as opposed to the beach. And everybody but Flick knows about this now. So how are they going to get her there without her? And Palmer's furious because he's sorted out the license for the beach wedding, hasn't he?
Guy's permit.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because all I'm singing in my head while you're talking is Cotton Eye Joe. Oh, I don't know why.
I've been married a long time ago. Yeah.
If you'd heard of it, you got now, Joe.
I I don't know what to make of this, but at least we're having another location because it's not just on the beach that we know. So we're getting another. I like it when we go to places we've not seen before, as long as it's not the country girls, whatever it is that Heather took us to recently. As long as it's Crestview, as long as it's not there.
Crestview function rooms.
I don't.
For all occasions.
Is it going to be a barn or?
Well, why wasn't this just part of the plan from the beginning? Is this a last minute change? Like, do you know, like, why did we not from the beginning of the? Because obviously she was freaking out about the wedding, wasn't she? Maybe that's why. Maybe, you know, so simple beach, no airs, no graces might have got her there. You know, you know, I'm just thinking how we've gone from that now to some big venue.
Yeah, is it a big venue? I don't know. Like country, it could be anything, couldn't it? I'm just thinking, is it going to be some shack in the middle of nowhere? I don't know. Oh, maybe it's that shack where they were tied up when Anne kidnapped them. Maybe it's there in the middle of the cabin in the woods. I don't know.
I hope they've done something with it. Needs a bit of TLC. That
needed a few tea lights, I think, at least.
Well, which will kick off a drama, no doubt.
Oh dear, I don't know. It's odd, but we'll just have to go with it, I think.
Yeah. I'm just a bit like, oh, we've now changed the whole wedding. You know, I've had to psych myself up for this. You know, and I was looking forward to a beach wedding. I feel a bit cheated here.
Yeah, I know. We've had them before, though, haven't we? We've had a few beach weddings, so I'm up for another venue if it means.
But I mean, all this talk about the invites are here, and we've had this big photo shoot on the beach on Nick's iPhone 4, and
now the invites are by text.
Now they just had they've had a text saying, "Forget all that beach theme invite."
Yeah, we're going for a barn or a lodge in the country. I don't know. Very odd.
Very, very odd. Well, luckily, Nick has got the books night covered, he said.
Yeah.
And did you notice on tonight's trailer, tonight's 5-star trailer, that we have the books night next week?
And the hens night in the same venue.
What was going on there?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that because that's going to be some high drama, I'd imagine.
That's not a good look, is it? He's already seen her wearing wedding dresses. Yeah. Call me superstitious.
I don't know. I think joint bucks and hens nights, they're quite common now, aren't they? I think people do. Sometimes they plan them on purpose. Yeah. I think some people. I think it's normally where one partner's done the dirty on the other one in the past, and they doesn't want them to go out on their own. I'll be honest. You know those couples that have got one Facebook account.
Oh yeah.
You know the ones I mean.
John and Josie.
And you're like, which one of you cheated? So it's like that. Sometimes they plan like a hens and bucks night together, don't they? Or as we say, stag do, don't we? But they are quite common now. But certainly seeing the dress and changing the venue at the last minute. Some things they're angering the wedding gods, I think, at some level here.
Yeah. I can feel it in my waters.
Yeah.
Something's not right. Just for the second he walked in and she was looking at the wedding dress and she stood there wearing a wedding dress. I'm like, what the hell? My eyes are burning. Like
he's definitely seen which one it is because he's seen her in all of them, hasn't he? Pretty much. So whichever one was number 3 on that rail is the one that she's chosen.
Bad luck.
I think it will be, but yeah, it's home and away. Of course, it's not going to go to plan. And I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what else did it go to plan this week? The ye old golf tournament.
Oh, scandal.
Absolutely love this. This was like proper like deadline and like but also like involved enough people, like there was enough sort of spikes off of this happening for me to not just be bored stiff of them playing golf. So you know, the golf, they're at the golf club, aren't they? It's all getting kicked off. The only thing that did bug me about this was Marilyn and Rue. They're I'm finding them a bit sickly since they made friends again, considering how Rue has been for several months with her. And now it's all like, love you, babes, oh, yes, oh, 3 bags full.
Yeah, I think Marilyn's trying to make friends with her, isn't she? Because Marilyn's just got a big heart and she doesn't want people to feel awful. I'm like you. I'm still really cross with Rue. If I was Marilyn, I wouldn't be talking to Rue at all. I'm very petty, but I'd be like, see you later, love. So I don't know. I think it's very Marilyn. It's very big of her to sort of put things in the past.
I don't want to be unfair to Rue, but I feel like she's hijacked this.
Yeah.
That feels a bit strong. I know I've said it out loud. I've said it now, and it's like on the internet. So like, shit. But like, I just feel like because she's good at organising, she just sort of took it and like she went to the car dealership and she organised this amazing, car as a prize. And I'm just a bit like, do you really deserve to be helped? This should be Marilyn. Anyway, I'm thinking too much into it, but I'm just thinking it's just doing my head in a bit.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like she's getting all the credit, isn't she? Because she got she phoned Ryder and got the $5,000
yes
voucher for a cruise off his boss and all. So she is getting all the. I think Marilyn's doing a lot of the admin and the work and a lot of the organising, and Rue's doing a lot of the flashy. Oh, I got a car. Oh, I got a $5,000 voucher.
Yeah.
All the stuff that people remember, and probably Marilyn's like the duck with the feet going really fast under the water, doing everything. I don't know. There's always, when you do a group project and there's one person that does all the work, and then there's one person that just kind of sweeps in at the end and gets all the credit. I think Rue's that person.
Yeah, 100%.
Marilyn's the one doing all the work and actually putting it all together.
Absolutely. Spot on. And I do like, though, I don't know who did all the work on this, but John's buggy was branded.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
T-shirts. John had gone all out on this, no expense spared, and we know that's not like him. But his buggy is no use, broken down.
Yeah.
So he's having to walk. And
do you know what I was thinking? Where was Gerald for the start? Where on earth was Gerald? And why couldn't Gerald have brought the Polaris down to bail them out? He could have gone around the course on the Polaris. I'd have loved that.
I think there's a bigger hole in this plot, and that is to win a game of golf, you don't have to be the fastest around the course. Like,
yeah.
So, because immediately John has suspected Justin, because I did like the line, Rose, you're a cop, wig it out. What's your gut telling you, Rose? I do thought it was funny.
It was.
But John just honestly, John's had me in stitches. So we'd find out in bits, don't we, as these sort of episodes play out, and we revisit this game of golf, that Justin has tampered with John's golf buggy, so it won't start, it won't go. But I'm a bit like, yes, that's not your equipment and you've tampered with it, so yes, that might have some legality issues. But is it cheating? I'm not sure. It's not like he's not gained an advantage by John not having a golf buggy. John's just got to carry his golf clubs.
You might need to explain golf to me because I don't understand how it works. But from what Rue said, when Dean said to Rue, how do I win the car? And she said, get around the course in as few shots as possible. So basically, hit the ball into the hole using as few hits. I don't know what the terminology is. I'm terrible. Hit it as few times as possible, but get it into the hole.
You're like Kirby, with your stick.
I know. I've got a clue. But you could do that in 5 hours, or you could do that in an hour, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Like you, I don't understand. Unless it's just to make them walk, they get more tired. I don't know.
You're on the right lines. It doesn't matter how long it takes him.
Yeah.
I don't like the buggies are nice to have.
It is, yeah, because it just means you haven't got to walk around and you're not going to tire yourself out. But then you're using your arms to hit the ball, not your legs. So I I'm not into golf, so I don't really get it. But yeah.
We had an electric. You know, so you don't have to pull it. You could sit your golf clubs on a stand, with two wheels, and then you just pull it.
Yeah.
You'll have seen that, yeah, rather than carrying it.
Yeah.
Well, this one was electric, so you pressed it, it just went. I was like, oh shit, chasing
like
it.
a little robot. I like that.
Yeah. So I didn't understand quite what had been cheated. I agreed, criminal damage and all that, fair dues, right? Yeah, he did
poor
that.
sportsmanship, isn't it? I think it's
Yeah.
that, rather than, he didn't sabotage John's game, but he wasn't very sportsmanly.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Sportsmanly.
Yeah, and he had to be reminded it was a charity event when he was getting absolutely lambasted by Leah. Because while all this is going on, Irene is down at the diner and she's let slip to Leah that he's bet a grand on it.
Yeah. And then Alf comes in and doubles down on it, doesn't he? He's like, she's like, I know everything, and he's like, oh, you've heard about him sabotaging John's buggy then? What? I didn't know about the bet. At this point, I was like, oh, Justin's so dead.
I know. But yeah, he'd acted like an absolute tool. And out of all, as did John, but out of all this, John comes off looking like an absolute saint.
He does. I actually felt sorry for Palmer. I felt really bad for him because I was like, it isn't fair that Justin's done this. Justin's really showed himself up. I'm sorry, but this was like next level petty. This wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think he was like that.
No, he's really stooped low, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's shamed himself, I think. I mean, disappointing Alf is just making Alf angry is one thing, but disappointing Alf is a whole kettle of fish, isn't it?
And then there's that really awkward announcement, that Dean's won.
Yeah.
And he's on the phone. He's on the phone to Ziggy, isn't he? Celebrating that I've got you a car, so we don't have to move. And then obviously Alf does his thing, and he's like, however, we don't have that here in Summer Bay. No. So what were their team names? The Happy Chilmores
and Palmer's Putters.
Yeah, the Happy Chilmores are disqualified. So therefore, good old John Palmy wins by default.
Yeah. Poor Dean.
I did feel for Dean actually after that.
Dean's cracked me up this week. Dean's been hilarious, I'll be honest, throughout this golf thing. Like, how hard can it be? I'll do it on the night, mate. He didn't want to go and walk the course the day before, did he? He was just like, I'll do it on the night. I'll get there. And to be fair to him, he did it.
I was about to say, I'm a surfer, I'm not a golfer. And then, I've never done it before. Goes, does it, and
wins the car. Fair play. I did feel really bad for him when it got taken away from them. I genuinely felt bad for John, and I felt bad for Dean. Theo, he's been a star. He almost threw the game, didn't he? Because he found out Justin had cheated. Well,
Theo and his morals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Theo's actually he's got very strong moral compass, hasn't he?
Yeah.
When it comes to right and wrong, I'm quite impressed with him.
Yes.
Considering, Justin's supposed to be the adult in that scenario because he's meant to be his auntie's boyfriend or whatever. But, Theo's the one that was saying, no, this is not cool. You need to fess up. And Justin he had all the opportunities to do so. And yet he waited until they got outed publicly, which is just shameful.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And Theo started sort of sabotaging his own shots.
Yeah.
Sending Dean mad.
Yeah.
Sort him out.
It's not rocket science, mate. That's cracking me up.
And all this goes, so John ends up crowned, or John's team is buying everybody a drink. Who'd have thunk it? And sort of Dean is devastated that he's lost this car and won it all in the space of about a minute. And Justin has to face the music with old Leah there. She tells it to sleep on the couch. I've had enough. Actions speak louder than words, and she's not happy with his apologies. And there was a moment the next day, when and Leah's sort of charged to work with Irene, and they're in the and she's going on it, and Irene just says, in a nutshell, chill out, Leah. He's apologized. Like, what more do you want the guy to do? And even Al sort of says, yeah, you've gone at him a bit. I thought, absolutely, because Leah's so annoying with this stuff.
She, when someone else messes up, Leah doesn't let them forget it, does she?
No.
No, she doesn't. He has done wrong, but he's trying to put it right now. He's paid that £1,000. He's fixed the golf cart. Alf sweet talked the golf course manager, and he's been banned for life, but it's not going it's not going to be anything
He's never been there before, so yeah.
So it's not really
not going to miss that.
A punishment, is it?
Offered Dean, I'll do anything you want. Yeah, get me a car.
Yeah, he's offered.
So he's looking for a car.
Yeah. And what else can he do? And then he did come up with another idea, didn't he? Redemption Kitchen, as I'm now calling it. the volunteer kitchen, the community kitchen that Marilyn and Rue and everyone else has got involved with. Now Justin's decided he wants to get involved, and I lost sight of what this was. It's for charity. I want to do something. I want to give back. So this community kitchen is starting to be how people sort of resolve their sins in the Bay now, isn't it?
Wouldn't it be good if, I don't think it's going that way, but this community kitchen became a bit of a permanent thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, we used to have the drop-in centre years ago and things
I
like
love
that?
The drop-in centre.
Yeah. Like, like if the community centre was like the community kitchen became a bit of a thing that everyone did and got involved in,
volunteered at. Yeah.
Be cool, wouldn't it, if it was?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I'll tell you what else was going cool. Xander, because he'd admitted to Stacey that, it wasn't for him, didn't he? If you remember, he wanted to commit to one person and one person only. And, and he was, we were applauding him last week for really, sticking to his true self, just like Stacey was to her.
Yeah.
And, we were proper good on you, lad, patting him on the back. And then this week he has this sort of moment where he thinks he can be friends with her, and I think he's confusing his feelings really towards her, not that whole not wanting to let her go type thing, wasn't he, in my opinion? So he agrees and takes her out to dinner again, and you're just thinking, this is confused before it's even ended, really. Like, what? There's nothing actually changed here other than you had a conversation about you wanting someone. And literally someone, and then you've carried on like you were before, right after it. I thought, just a bizarre thing to attempt, really. It doesn't take Stacey long to try and blur them lines then, does it?
No, a few hours. I mean, they managed to get through the dinner, didn't they? But then Rose interrupted while Xander was at the bar and said, "Oi, you're out on a date with my brother, are you?" And she was like, "No, we're just friends." And Rose, I really think she overstepped the mark here. She kind of just said, well, my brother's not into this. You don't hurt him, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, butt out. Again, why are you getting so involved in your brother's love life?
Yeah, that was wrong. It was out of order, that.
It was.
However, it wasn't wrong what she was saying.
No.
I was actually quite annoyed at that scene when she did that, because it's nothing to do with her. But then later on, she sort of won me over. When she comes home and exactly what she said was going to happen, she caught them kissing, in the kitchen. And she was like, and I thought, well, she's not wrong, is she? Do you know what I mean? No. So, and she's looking out for her brother, but you're right. She's really stuck her nose in way too far there.
Yeah, she's treating him like Xander, he is kind of exasperating sometimes, isn't he? He's a bit like a kid. Following around, Stacey with his tongue hanging out, and his brain is just full of Stacey, and he's not thinking properly. He's not making the right decisions and all this sort of stuff. So I get it, but he's an adult. Let him make his mistakes.
Let him make a mojito.
Yeah.
With a waterside view.
Yes. Yeah. Is that why you're with me from a waterside view apartment?
That's what you want to call it. Yeah. And so Xander is making the wrong choice, isn't he? As you put it, he's mixing his feelings, thinking he can get a go. The lines are getting blurred already. She's gone in for the kill. He does knock her back, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
He does knock her back and says, this isn't right. We need to leave it as it is. And then Stacey does this big U-turn when suddenly she's the one who's being told no.
Oh, thank you.
She's on.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. When she's on the receiving end of it, being told, no, I don't want this, suddenly she wants to give it a go, monogamy.
Yeah. I was thinking exactly the same thing. I'm glad you said that. So I was thinking it's funny how she's been knocked back and now she's a bit sore about it.
She's not right, this one. I don't like it at all.
Oh,
and she's been a bit smarmy with Saki, with Tane as well. Yeah.
Oh, I'm really glad you said this because my spidey senses have been tingling with Stacey this week, and I was actually talking to somebody on Twitter about it, and they were saying, "Oh, have you got insider knowledge?" And I said, "No, it's just a gut feeling that I'm getting because we've seen her be really snarky with Tane, and Tane's a boss. He's just asking her to do stuff that's within her job, and she's like, oh." And then she snapped at Xander, didn't she? And said, "Oh, I'm having a bad day." And she's not having a bad day. She's been knocked back by Xander, and she's been told to do some stuff at work. I was thinking, join the club. You know what I mean? Like, her personality's changed overnight.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Not getting a good feeling. Makings of a murderer.
Wow, that's escalated. I just think she's like, I think she's a bit of a control freak, and when she's not in control, she's not calling the shots. She's not the one saying, "Oh no, we can't do this," and "No, we can't do that." He's knocked her back, and it's totally thrown her.
She's an absolute princess, proper princess. Like, would never been told no ever. And when I don't think she's ever. With this whole play of the field polyamory thing is just her having a cake and eating it.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And like you say, and controlling it. Like, I'll decide what I do. I'm not tying myself down. Blah 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 blah. Very short-sighted as well, because what you're going to do your whole life, looks fade. What are your plans like?
Yeah.
What you're doing, and what long game? What's the long game? Are we having kids? Are we, what do you want to do? What career-wise? What's the plan? She's not got any of that about her. She's
you're right.
It's literally all about, playing the field and having a good time.
Not wanting to do very much or be responsible for very much, because she obviously she's got this job in the gym, hasn't she, where she takes classes and what have you. But the minute Tane asks her for a favour, I mean, it's not unheard of for your boss to say, I've got something I've got to do. Would you mind covering for me? And then next time you've got something to do, they cover for you. Like, that's just part of your job. You just get on with it. He even
says, "Come on, it's my wedding."
Yeah, it's not like I'm just going out to get a cheeseburger. I'm trying to plan something pretty big, once in a lifetime stuff. You'd hope.
Tane wouldn't be caught dead eating a cheeseburger.
That's a lot of pizza. They all do.
He just takes the topping off, the protein.
Yeah,
meat.
That's true. Meat and cheese.
The most stupid moment of the week, like, was the point where he then says, "Okay, yeah, let's give this a go." You're just like, you absolute. I've literally written here, Xander equals idiot on the nose. He's not going to trust her.
No.
He's not going to trust her. She's going to resent him then for him being all, crazy about trust and possessive.
She's going to find it difficult to switch it off, isn't she? If she's used to sort of, I see a man, I fancy him, I approach him, ask him out, I take him on a date. That's how she herself has portrayed her lifestyle to us as the viewer, that's what she's like. You're not going to switch that off overnight, is she?
Nope. She can't do it, and he won't do it. Simple as that, And this is over before it's begun. And I
Mm.
think you absolute plonker. Why would you put yourself through that? You've got to get out here.
Yeah.
It's not like you're in too deep and, you've been dating a few months and she then springs it on you and you've got to try and, like you've
Yeah.
had this whole let's be honest thing. Let's be
Mm.
open. Let's be honest. That's your get out. Like,
Yeah.
run a mile, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to struggle.
No, but then it comes back to the small cast, not enough characters to date, isn't it? Again.
Mm. Well, that's not enough characters to date because Bree's dating them all.
That's true. God, poor Bree.
Bree's got the
dear.
old meat factory going on over at the motel. I want to.
Oh God. Why are you laughing?
I don't know where that came from.
I'm dying. Oh dear.
She's like catching up with Remy, and she like, oh God, the weather
Mm.
was awful in the bay this week. Oh, it pissed me down. You look freezing, woman. And he's like, oh, we agreed to keep our space from each other. I don't want to. I'm not the one you should be around right now. And there's this sort of then weird splinter off where Remy goes and confides in Mac.
Yeah.
And basically opens up and tells her everything, lock, stock, and barrel. And she goes and confides in Ziggy because Ziggy, obviously, this is more, breaks down because Ziggy basically reaches out to her and says, "Look, I don't hold you reporting me and my darling Dean to the police for domestic violence," which I thought was, do hold it against her. Like, she could have got you this crap. He's told me everything, and I really feel for you, and and you deserve better. And now, oh, sorry, I've spoken out of turn. I'm like, but then makes Bree break down and tell her everything. So now Ziggy's in the loop. So that while they're both simultaneously off doing that, and spilling the beans, it's just to eventually come back together again. Soaps do that, don't they, with things like that?
Yeah.
And tell each other, I can't be without you, and then they quickly wind up in bed and they're having that chit chat in bed, and they're basically addressing the scaring her because he's been worried that the other day when he blocked her from leaving a room and he saw the look on her face that he scared her.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be that man, and given what she's gone through with Jacob, so they seem like just as the affair's about to sort of be put on the rocks, it's reignited hotter than ever.
Yeah.
Just from a quick chat with a couple of friends.
Yeah. Actually, I thought Ziggy's reaction to the revelation, because obviously Ziggy said something like, "You haven't got to just rely on Remy as a friend, you've got me and Dean as well," or something, and we've got your back.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Oh, actually, Remy's not just a friend," and then blurted out all of this stuff about how she's having an affair. And I thought it was pretty cool of Ziggy, because obviously Bree at that point was probably worried about being judged, probably worried about what Ziggy was going to make of that sort of confession, if you like. And Ziggy said, "I've been cheated on before. I know how that goes. What you're doing, it's not an affair, it's surviving." And I thought that was a really cool thing for her to say.
Yeah, you're right. Considering she was quite day and night, black and white with Brody and Simone.
Yeah,
but Simone.
Oh, I know. Don't get me started. Yeah. Yeah.
She was like, cheating's cheating. Once you're a cheater, always a cheater. She was quite black and white about it back then. But now, now she seems to have developed a bit of empathy, and things aren't always as straightforward as they seem.
Yeah, and it's a totally different situation, isn't it? As far as she was concerned, her and Brody were forever. There wasn't anything like this going on. Jacob's lower than low hitting his wife. It's
Yeah.
Brody wasn't like that. Brody just chose to go off with someone else. It's not like Ziggy was beating him up every night, was it? So
that's true. Yeah. As if.
she probably could. I'm quite scared of Ziggy. But yeah.
She seems okay though that Remy that Mac knows about it all. And she goes off to get the takeaway while Remy takes a shower after an après shower. And then she gets a phone call. And it's basically Jacob's boss. He hasn't turned up for work, and then it's like panic stations, isn't it? Now this is where Bree started to lose me.
And me. I was like, what are you doing, woman? I don't understand this at all. What? Can we just recap? Right. So she gets a phone call from Jacob's boss, and Jacob's boss says Jacob has gone AWOL. He's not turned up for work. She's in salt, isn't she? She says this to Ziggy and Mac, and Ziggy goes, what does this mean? And she says, it means he could be anywhere. He could be on his way here. He could be already here. Like, I don't know where he is. Yeah. So then her logic in her brain tells her to go back on her own to the one place that he knows that she might be. Like, there's two places that he knows of that she might be. One is the hospital, and the other one is the motel where he was staying with her. Why did she go back on her own to the motel, to the same room that he probably has a key card for? I lost the plot with this.
She did put the chain on, bless her.
She did, but why didn't she get in the car and go to Remy? Like, she told Mac, I'm going to get in the car and go to Remy's. I was like, good plan. Yeah. But then you didn't do it.
I know. Do you know, last week you were talking about the not wanted. Does she want to be saved? You'd mentioned last week. Like, I don't think she does. I think that sort of tells us she doesn't,
She wants to be beaten black and blue in a motel, because that's all I can think. Why?
Part of her wants him. I think part of her wants him to beg her to stay with him. Like, have I said that right?
He's not going to do that, though. He's going to come home and batter her.
I know. Especially as, he's just heard Remy's voice on the phone.
Yeah.
Don't come here again, mate.
He's hit her for less. The police turned up to his place of work and arrested him for being a wife beater. And he's hit her for less than that. Why does she think he's going to turn up and be like, oh, I just want to talk? No. I can't get my head around this at all. I know she's in panic mode, and I know we don't know what it's like in that situation and all that, blah, blah, blah. But this was stupid.
I was screaming at the screen. Screaming at it. I was thinking, you plonker. Yeah. Absolute plonker. Remy, gets out the shower and he's like, where is she? Because at one point I was like, oh my God, I was like, is she being took? Because that was like the end of an episode or something, wasn't it? Or a commercial, I can't remember now. But like, that was like, it's come out and it's been like, he's leaving a voicemail for her and it's like, where are you? It's taking longer than usual. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's intercepted her. I'm like, oh no. Mine was running wild.
The last thing we heard, she said, I'm driving to Remy's, didn't she? And she had all that food. So I was like, yeah, good plan. Go to Remy's, eat the food, lock the door. He doesn't know where Remy lives. Brilliant. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's beyond stupid. Remy tracks her down at Dodgy Motel. And she's in bits, and he convinced her to call the police, and the police are saying, stay with a friend. He's saying, yes, stay with me. Like, he doesn't know where I live. Like, go and stay with him. Oh my God.
And her solution is, I'll just change rooms. But your car's in the car park, you idiot.
It's going to take him 5 seconds to catch up with her the second he's back.
Yeah.
If he's coming back.
He's emptied the bank account, hasn't he? So we don't know where he is.
Yeah, that's right. He's emptied the bank account. So, but the police in WA haven't got any confirmation of him going into state, have they?
No.
I don't know how that works. If you go by road,
they wouldn't.
They wouldn't check it? No.
Unless they've got like. When what are those things, ANPR, what they are, when they track your registration plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless they've got those, because if he's booked an airline ticket, they can trace that, can't they? If he's booked a
Yeah.
hire car, they can trace that. But if he's just driving in his own car, I don't know how they would.
And I mean, he might arrive by Christmas then.
It's a long way. I looked it up on the map. It's a long way, isn't it? I mean, it's like a decent flight. So yeah, I don't know.
If he's driving.
Unless can you get on it if it's internal flight? Can you get on the flight without showing any ID? Can you just say, "Oh, my name's John Palmer"? I don't know. I don't know.
Try and go on now and try and book a flight and see if you can.
What, from WA to?
Yeah. From Perth. What's in WA? Is it Perth? We're so bad.
I don't know. It's on the other side. It's on the opposite side of Sydney, isn't it? I don't know what's there. All the good stuff's on the other side, isn't it? I don't know. Is Brisbane on that side? I don't know. You know, when people go to Brisbane, it's meant to be like quite far away, isn't it? Like they never come back. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's over that side.
Yeah, well, the police do ring back eventually, confirm all this. You know, we've not got any confirmation, but we've not heard. We don't know where he is. Basically, he's cleared the bank out, as you say. She's refusing to go anywhere. I just don't get it. So Remy's sitting there like a sitting duck, waiting for it. He's refusing as well. There's no warranty out for his arrest. He's done nothing wrong.
Yeah. Wow.
They can only do it, you know. They can only warrant his arrest if he breaks his ABO or something.
Yeah.
We're all going on the assumption that he's going to break this ABO, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. That's what we're expecting, isn't it? Yeah. They've got to wrap this up somehow, haven't they?
I know, because we've been nervous for weeks.
I know. I can't take any more. Can't take any more. So something's got to happen. But yeah. Right, Si, it's time for your say on the Bay. Are you excited?
Always.
Always. You sound it. They used to come round and poke you. Come on.
No, I do. I genuinely do, because it's, you know, it's listeners and things that are telling us stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
it's quite good fun. This.
Yeah, it always sparks a debate. We love a good old debate.
We do. Sometimes we've sparked a debate that we didn't mean to spark. That's the problem.
The point.
It is the point. But then I'm like, oh, we've already talked about this, and I can't bring it up again on the Your Say because we talked about it 2 weeks ago. But never mind. It's good fun. I like it. So for anybody that doesn't know, this segment, Your Say on the Bay, is where we look at things that home and away fans have been talking about on social media, on the hashtag home and away, or anything that anyone's tweeted to us. So we are on Twitter, we're also on Instagram, and our handle is @coastalnewspod. And you can also email us coastalnewspod@gmail.com as well. So this week, I don't know whether a few people noticed, I tweeted something that I made using tiermaker.com, where you can drag a picture of all the current cast of Home and Away into a category to show us your favourites or your least favourites. And we've had a few people create these and share their lists with us. So thank you to everybody that's done that and shared your thoughts, because that's been really interesting to have a look at these. So I thought we'd have a dive in and have a look at these. What do you reckon?
I'm excited because it's mad sometimes when you see someone else's favourite characters and you're like, what?
Yeah. Or someone's least favourite and you're like, what did they do? Done them dirty. Like,
oh, I love them. Yeah.
No, it's really interesting because obviously it'd be boring if we all thought the same thing and we all like the same thing and whatever, and that's, you know, the whole point, isn't it, of a show like this?
It's just mad you're watching the exact same thing though.
Yeah.
And it's like you've drawn completely opposite inferences from it, you know, an opinion. I just think it's really interesting.
It is, and I think it's a reflection of who you relate to, and also probably who you relate to in terms of like who might remind you of your family or your friends and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I just think it's really interesting. So thank you to everybody that's filled these in and shared them with us. I don't think it's a big surprise that pretty much everybody had put Jacob as character I don't really like. It's not really a surprise, is it? I think there was only one person that had put him higher than that, but it was just character I don't like rather than character I really don't like. So I don't think that was a surprise. I don't think we're meant to like Jacob. I think we're meant to like not liking him, aren't we? Meant to love to hate him kind of thing. So
sometimes we love a villain though, don't we?
that's true. Yeah.
Sometimes like a real bad person can have a bit of a lovable side. The problem with Jacob is he's relatively new. We know little about him. And he's a guestie, so like why would you bother investing in it? But also like he's beating his wife up and there's nothing, very few things that are lower than that, and I think there is nothing redeeming about him in that respect. So I'm completely on board with what people have said there, because he's not a villain you can like. He's not a bad boy that you can rogue, and you can you want to see it, because sometimes you can really want that a bad characters are good for, makes things interesting. But there's nothing redeeming about him at all.
Yeah, you're right. Even if he was really funny, we still wouldn't like him, would we? Because he's like, well, he's horrible.
How can you see past that? He's
whereas we had Tex last year, didn't we? And who I think he won some awards in our award show last year, didn't we? He was very popular when he was on the show. So even though he was a baddie, and actually he was targeting characters that are really well loved on the show, everyone really liked him because I think his personality was bad boy villain, wasn't it? But it was cheeky, funny, bit sarcastic.
Tad pantomime,
it was a bit.
Oh yeah, I love Tex.
I did, I thought he was great. So I'm not surprised that people are not loving Jacob, because like I say, I don't think we're supposed to. But Julie Smith 2001, she had Jacob as don't like rather than everyone else that had them as really don't like. And she also had Kirby alongside Jacob as well. I think you did as well when you did yours. I think you put Kirby and Jacob together.
I did. Yeah. I was probably a bit strong on Kirby there, because I think I had Kirby rock bottom, didn't I?
You did, alongside Jacob. I was like, you've done it dirty there. But
for different reasons.
I know, it just looks quite hilarious when they're next to each other. The wife beater and the poor girlfriend of Theo that has no... Yeah. Can I just say, while we're talking about Kirby, actually, we forgot to mention it on the main episode. I was really looking forward to this golf storyline, because I thought we're going to see more of Kirby. Did we even see her golfing? I remember seeing Rose golfing. I just don't remember Kirby having that big a part in that whole tournament story.
No, barely said a word.
That's disappointing. But anyway.
It was.
Anyway, it was.
They set you up, Sophie. They set you up.
I know. I was kind of excited to see more of Kirby, and I didn't really. So, never mind. Maybe another day. One of the characters that everybody had sort of divided opinions on this poll, or this list that people were putting together, was Rose. So we had one person that had Rose down as I really like this character, and everybody else pretty much had her as not keen, not a fan of Rose. So the person that had her down as really like, I actually tweeted and just sort of said, what is it about Rose that you liked? And it was 007 on Twitter, and he said, well, I almost put her in really love this character, but for some reason he just decided to put her in really like. That's fine. And I said, well, what is it about Rose? And she came back, I can't remember if it was a man or woman. They came back and they said, because she's a badass cop, but also sweet and a good laugh, basically wife material. So I was like, that's fair enough. Can't argue with that, can you? It's quite a good way of summing her up, really. If you're John, Flick, Mac, Tane, or Marilyn, you generally ended up in the category of love or really like. So those characters were generally the most popular ones, which I'm not surprised about. It kind of matches up with our awards categories that we did last year, where Flick and Tane won best couple in the Bay, and Marilyn Wood won best female, didn't she?
Yeah, I was about to say that there hasn't been too much shift here, has there? And we did the votes on the awards in around September time.
We did.
And when we're now heading to March, so some months, we're off air for 2 months, but in mind. Yeah, there's not a lot of shift there, is there? I was about to say that.
But then we did have divided opinions on a few characters. So Eden, Rose, as I've already mentioned, Xander and Kirby. Some people really liked them. Some people really didn't like them. They seem to be the Marmite characters of the Bay in terms of love and hate. So Sarah, 30th Floor, had Kirby down as don't like. But Tori, whose book's in the Bay, had Kirby down as love. So, real difference in opinion there between that same character. So somebody really can't stick her and somebody absolutely loves her. So that's interesting as well.
And that's where it comes in about that, you were talking about, who you relate to and what you connect with, whether that be that person, you see yourself in them, or whether, maybe your experience in life, and it might be similar to theirs, or a storyline might be something that touches you, or reminisces with you, and in a way that means that you feel differently about that character. However, I will caveat that with, I don't think Kirby's had a storyline actually.
Well, I did ask Tori. I got in touch and said, whose book's in the Bay? I said, what is it about? In fact, they rated Eden really low, while other people were rating Eden quite high. So I just asked generally, what do you think about Eden and Kirby? And they said Eden just spends every episode crying over Cash. And I just love Kirby because Angelina has so much energy, and in fact I didn't expect to like her as much as I do.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So we like the character because the actress's performance.
Yeah.
Rather than okay, that's fascinating for me. And I'm the opposite. I think Eden's. I'm enjoying and connecting with Eden way more. Excuse me.
I am. Yeah.
Oh,
you've got a frog in your throat.
Or a fly or something.
Oh no.
Eden. Yeah, I mean, we've discussed it on here, haven't we? We're liking Eden now. We've bedded in a bit with her, and she's starting to get stories outside of the band, and we think that's been really great for her. And we've been saying we think Kirby needs that. She's been stuck with Theo and writing songs. But it's interesting that Tori mentions it's the actress. That's made her like the character.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, so the divided opinions are Eden and Kirby and Rose and Xander. So they're fairly newbies as well to the Bay in terms of like the other cast members that have been with us for much longer.
Nothing unsurprising there, is there really?
But they are very Marmite. Literally some people have put them as love or really like, and other people have put them as really don't like or don't like. So they've really divided opinion. The middle of the ground, so people that have categorized characters as don't really mind them, they're all right, I like them, not really getting any higher than that or any lower than that, have tended to be Bree, Cash, Remy and Leah. So they're kind of cruising in the middle, not really upsetting anybody, but not really sort of setting anybody's heart on fire either at the same time. So
I'm surprised at Bree there. I thought Bree might have had a bit more, given the domestic violence story. I thought she might have had a bit more empathy and a bit more I don't know, a bit more people behind her.
She's generally been in the I don't mind category. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. So
this DV story, is it sort of hitting home with you, like it's a hard hitting, pulling at strings, is the story landing with you in a way that it resonates, with these characters?
I think so. Yeah, I can imagine being in Bree's shoes. I mean, she's doing stuff that exasperates me, but I haven't I can't be in her shoes. You know what I mean? I don't know how to know how she would react in that situation.
Yeah.
Running off to the motel and everything, you know, I thought that was pretty dumb. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I
just
do
wondering,
think
you know,
it's
because
yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, I just say I'm enjoying the storyline, even though it's awful. You know, it's hideous. It's a horrible thing to enjoy, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. But I am enjoying the storyline, and I do feel for her. And I actually quite liked her from the beginning. I quite liked her from the first scene that she was in, that we saw her in the hospital, and she was sort of taking charge, and you know, everything's going to be okay. So I quite liked her from the beginning, but this has made me feel more for her, especially because I guess I like Remy as well, so I'm a bit biased. So anything where Remy's involved and, you know, he's showing that nice, you know, caring, nurturing side of him, I'm really enjoying seeing that and his development of his character. So I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
Well, this just this discussion here about sort of Bree sort of generally scoring middle of the road, making me think, am I bothered about it? You know, like, am I just buying into the hype? You know, the sort of surface level. Oh, this is juicy. Oh, what's he going to say? Oh, he's scary. You know, am I just getting a bit into that? You know what I mean? And like, am I actually that asked about her? You know, probably not. Now, if we took Brie out, right, and swapped her with someone who we like, Mac.
Yeah.
Would that change how I was? Yeah, I think I'd be a bit devoed for Mac, really.
Do you think
Ziggy.
you'd feel more for her than you feel for Bree?
Well, is it because she's been around longer and I just know a bit about Mac's upbringing, and I actually, you know, like I've got a bit of a rapport is not the word, is it? You know, I've developed a bit of a sort of attachment to Mac, you know.
Yeah.
So therefore, something as mad and as like dreadful as that happening to Mac would be really bad.
Yeah.
Is it really that bad for Brie? I don't really know much about. You know, maybe I'm just trying to maybe read between the lines. Is it something like that? Is the reason? You know,
Yeah.
Are people a bit so about her? Because it could be anybody, really. This storyline.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, she's not. I wouldn't say she's like my favorite character, you know, but I would say that she's a character that I like. You know, I like her. I don't like the fact that she's in this situation. I want to see this situation with Jacob resolved so that she can move on and be happy. So,
but then if this was happening to your favorite character, imagine what you would be feeling.
I'd be livid, wouldn't I? Let's be honest. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'm getting a bit blinded by the big lights, you know, and
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad
And
we
I've
had a
not
chat
realised.
about that.
Yeah, I've not realised it till now. There we go.
Yeah, I still wouldn't put her middle of the road. Like, I still wouldn't put her as I don't mind. I still would say I like Bree as a character, but now you've made me think. And if it was someone else that I like more, like if it was Flick,
yeah, imagine.
Yeah, I think I'd be quite devastated actually. So,
I mean, where did you put her?
Who?
Yeah, you put her in
Bree.
characters I don't mind. Yeah, I'm just having a look now.
Oh, did I? Oh, I don't think I meant to do that. I told you I did that when I was hungry. I think I was feeling a bit meh when I did that. But yeah, I actually like her, so I don't know why I put her in there. But yeah, who did I put in Love? I can't remember now.
Remy, obviously. Literally, he's got my lockdown hair. That's what I look like in 2020. You got your females.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got Flick, Eden, Mac,
Yeah.
Marilyn, and Irene.
Oh, see, if it was Marilyn, I'd be crying. Or Irene, I'd be crying. You're right. Maybe I'm not as invested in Bree as I thought I was.
Yeah, are we loving the storyline because it is a mad storyline? This has only just made me realise it now. This is like proper light bulb moment now. You've probably ruined this storyline for me.
Sorry. Don't blame me. Blame your say on the bay.
Because for weeks I've been like, oh, Jacob's gonna come back, whoa. You know, and I'm like, actually, I'm not saying it's a who cares. You know, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
You know, but oh dear, trapped to
Wow.
Glanger here.
Gosh, that's put the the cat among the pigeons, I think.
Just a bit.
Ooh.
Thank you for listening. We will be back with more episode discussion from Summer Bay soon. Until then, join the discussion online at Coastal News Pod.